Their Park, joined here by Jackson Howell, as always, and our new video speakery, I guess is how you call it, video host, John Benet Kepper. I hope I said your last name right.
You did.
Okay,
you
good.
did.
Good. Southern Miss baseball, 13-5 losers against the Illinois Fighting Illini. Jackson, I would say stunned would be the word that I would say. I don't think a lot of people tonight expected Southern Miss to lose this game, especially not with Tanner Hall on the mound, but just lose this game in general. But, man, Illinois came in here and just wiped them off the field.
Yeah, there was only one team with fight tonight, and it was the team with fighting in their name. Illinois just came out and punched Southern Miss in the mouth, and Southern Miss was down 5-0 just like that. They were able to make it a 5-3 ball game, but then in the very next inning, Illinois would score 3 more and then score in the remaining innings. 13-5 final score. Just shocking, I would say. I don't think anybody expected this. Nobody expected. I wouldn't say that everybody expected a sweep. But my goodness, that's quite the egg that Southern Miss just laid, especially coming off of that 12-0 defeat of New Orleans.
Yeah, I mean, all season we talked about right-handed pitching. So Illinois started a right-handed pitcher tonight, and he just had Southern Miss's number, bases loaded in the bottom of the 5th with no outs. And Southern Miss doesn't get a run across after giving up a 3-run homer in the 3rd, I believe, and then another run in that inning to make it a 4-0 game. John Benet, you were on the field. You're right here next to the team. Just talk about kind of what the team was like as you were able to video and just kind of the morale in the dugout.
Yeah, so I think it was the 3rd and 4th innings were really up and down the whole time, and then as the players came in the dugout, I could tell that there was some frustrations, and it was felt even just right there next to them, and so definitely a tough night, and it would have been nice to have a win, but I think we were all realistic about this, and we knew they had a tough schedule coming up, so not a good way to start the series, but hopefully tomorrow maybe they can pull off a win.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. Coming into this schedule, coming into the season, we knew that there was going to be a tough series, back to back. You have Liberty, they sweep them. I don't think really anybody expected to sweep there. This week, you think, okay, Illinois not really prominent for their baseball. Jackson could be interesting, but I think a lot of people expected a sweep, and especially when on Friday night. But Tanner Hall, man, just didn't have his stuff tonight.
Yeah, and we talked to Scott Berry about this a little bit, and he didn't really see anything bad from Tanner Hall. He said there's not a whole lot of action down in the zone, and Illinois was just able to capitalize. They fouled off pitches, and then when they got in position, when they got a pitch to hit, that's what they did, including an RBI with 2 strikes in the 3rd inning and then a 3-run home run. Really cracked the game open, so to speak, and then they just didn't let up from there. Tanner Hall went 5 innings, gave up 5 runs, I believe, and then after that, they put in some bullpen guys. They put in Will Armistead. I believe he gave up 3 earned runs as well. And, some people will call them punting this game. Really, it was just putting in a bunch of young guys, really seeing what they have. And Barry said this post-game, he said that there were a lot of heart rates that rose, talking about young guys getting in there to pitch for the first time. This is really the first time this year that Southern Miss has faced true adversity. Their backs are really against the wall. If they don't win tomorrow, they don't win the series, then will they even be ranked? I know that's a situation that they're probably not thinking of too much about this early in the season, but it's definitely something to make note of, and they definitely got punched in the mouth tonight, and they got a rebound tomorrow.
Yeah, he talked about it as it being a boxing match, right? And it was kind of that 4th inning they hit with the right field. It seemed to me, right, when that ball went out of the park, almost all the energy was sucked out of the ballpark, John Benet.
Yeah, and to be honest, I know earlier on my commute back to Hattiesburg from the coast, I was listening to y'all's podcast with the baseball preview that you guys did, and I feel like tonight a lot of the things that...
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Yes, but a lot of things that you guys said y'all were concerned about happening, with the hitting and pitching, I feel like that was kind of highlighted in this game tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. You brought in a lot of young arms, like you just said, Jackson, and really none of them could get any work going. We saw in the opening weekend Cross Civilly and a couple other guys coming in who just were lights out. And this pitching staff was ranked number 1 in the country. They're not going to be ranked number 1 in the country now, just because they give up 13 hits and 13 runs and 11 hits, excuse me. So a lot of walks tonight. Tanner Hall walked, I think, 2.
He walked on the night,
yeah. 8 walks, yeah. Just all in all, just not the night for Southern Miss. And they have those off nights every once in a while, but I think that I just didn't expect it to be on a Friday night. But you got to give credit to Illinois tonight, man. I mean, it seemed like every batter they had, I mean, they just could put the ball in play.
Yeah, I mean, every at-bat was competitive, it seemed like, just across the board, just uncharacteristic from a Southern Miss pitching staff, from Tanner Hall that you would really expect to be dominant and lights out. But today's really the first game where we've seen that Southern Miss pitching is vulnerable. We saw that tonight. Obviously, hitting struggles kind of continued. They scored 5 runs, which, that's pretty decent. But then look at the guys left on base early in the game, and it's just not a winning formula. So they got to come out tomorrow, Matthew Adams, and try to weather the storm.
Weather the storm, indeed. Yeah, exactly. And I think Coach Barry just said it exactly what it was, with the bases loaded in the bottom of the 4th, nobody out. That was a humongous momentum swing right there. Even if you scratch 2 or 3 runs and not even tie the game, the very next inning they hit 3 runs in or whatever. Everybody kind of thought they were coming back, and immediately, John Bonet, Illinois scored 3 more runs in the top of the inning right after that. So it was 5-3, and then immediately Illinois got those 3 runs back, and that really just sucked out all the life in this ballpark.
It really did. And, tonight, like we said, and we have been saying this whole time, it wasn't a good night for Southern Miss baseball. But I think they can take this and look back and say, all right, this is what happened, and move forward with the competition that lies ahead, because there's a lot to look forward to in the season.
Yeah, for sure. This isn't like an end-all, be-all for Southern Miss, but I mean, I get to play the same team again tomorrow. We just have to say stuff in this video to make it, long. So I'm just kidding. Good news for Southern Miss sports in general tonight, though. Shooty Hoops tonight was a basketball town, Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Not a baseball school, Jackson, but a basketball town tonight. Southern Miss women's basketball earns a shared title with James Madison Conference Championship. Pretty big deal for them. They needed a James Madison loss, I believe, to get that, and they got that, and they won in overtime against Louisiana. I do not know the final score. We'll have to get that for you. But men's basketball, I guess, probably the biggest news of the night. Not shading anything for women's basketball. That's pretty big news. But, man, Jackson, I know we're in a baseball post-game pod, but men's basketball, regular season, sole possession of the Sun Belt title. Remarkable.
I mean, 7-26 last year. Like, come on, 25-6 this year. The first outright conference championship since 1991. I've already seen people on Twitter saying party like it's 1991. I don't think anybody thought we'd be here in this situation right now. They were picked 13th and 14th to start the season. They wear the number 14 on their pregame jerseys, and now they're wearing number 1. That's the seed they'll have in the Sun Belt Conference Tournament in Pensacola, which I believe some of y'all will be at.
Yes, I will be here. These two fellows right here, fella and lady, will be doing, lady fella, will be here for the Dallas Badger series, but I will be in Pensacola, and we'll be giving you all the coverage there. Southern Miss basketball, number 1, Sun Belt regular season champions, which means that they now have an automatic bid to the NIT championship, something we talked about on the podcast yesterday, but now they have that automatic bid. So if they do not get to the NCAA tournament, which is crazy, they have a very good shot at now. If they do not get there, they will at least go to the NIT as a high seed. So that is John Bonet Kepper for her first ever video. How did it feel?
It was good. It was weird not being behind the camera, but I enjoyed it. I'm glad that you guys brought me along in front this time.
And that was Jackson Howell, as always.
Yeah, I've been here.
Yeah, I've been here too. And Southern Miss lost 13-5. But at least it wasn't a horrible night for Southern Miss fans in general, because the men's and women's basketball team kind of uplifted it. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be here all weekend. That's John Bonet. That's Jackson. I'm Dima, and thanks for watching.